Hello, and welcome to a Network 216 Cavs Minute, coming fresh off a 118-93 Cavs win over the Toronto Raptors for the first time this season. Cleveland was 0-3 versus Toronto, and I think that makes this victory all that sweeter. They're in a tough battle in the Eastern Conference right now, a three-game lead up on Brooklyn and New York for the fourth seed, which we know how important that is because the Cavs are a different team at home. And I think this game had a lot of great pieces to it that I'd love to dive into. I think, first of all, just beating Toronto, the Cavs are on a losing streak that starts before the All-Star break. They lose to Philadelphia, lose to Denver, lose to the last one escapes me. I'm not sure. Atlanta. What a forgettable loss. Anyway, it was nice to break off the losing streak, to get back on the right track. And I think the biggest difference here is that the Cavs on the losing streak were really struggling to shoot the three ball. And we saw them against Toronto shoot 50%, which was near double what they had averaged against Toronto previously to this. Donovan Mitchell goes for 35, which, I mean, he basically stops playing at the end of the third quarter. It really makes you wonder what he could have gone for tonight because he caught absolute fire. I think you saw a lot of chemistry between he and Darius, who both shot really well from three. And you know what? Going along with this theme, Evan Mobley makes two and is attempting far more. I think, you know what's interesting is that all of a sudden it looks like the Cavs are aware of what they're going to struggle with come playoff time, right? They're going to leave Evan Mobley open from three. They're going to leave Isaac Okoro open from three. And Isaac Okoro hit a couple threes. Evan Mobley hit a couple threes. It wasn't the most efficient outing from Mobley, but I think getting him comfortable and getting him used to taking that shot and building up the confidence there is something that's going to pay dividends in the long term. Because realistically, I'm personally hoping that the Cavs are going to win a first round series, get to a semifinals, and really get this experience because you're a young team. You know, aside from Donovan Mitchell, you don't have a ton of playoff experience, especially with Kevin Love exiting and being a member of the Miami Heat now. So I think this was a great game to see that the Cavs very much needed, because if you start sliding a little bit more, all of a sudden you're no longer in the driver's seat to have home court. And I think, especially with as good as the Cavs have been in Cleveland, that's very important. So there's a lot of pieces here that were great. Jared Allen is his typical efficient self. And I think, Isaac Okoro just looks so much more comfortable. He did not take a shot until the second half, and that came on the first three, and it looked beautiful. It looked pretty. I think you're starting to see that type of comfort with shooting these shots. And as usual, the defense came to play. The Cavs, no matter how they're shooting, are always playing good defense. So that was really great to see. Looking ahead, the Cavs have a couple pivotal matchups with Boston, who is as good, probably the best team in the NBA. They're 2-0 against Boston. We've had the epic Karis LeVert game to help the Cavs beat them before. So these are going to be big tests because Cleveland has struggled against some of the top level teams in the NBA, and the more experience they can get, the better. So I think we're going to learn a lot about just where the Cavs are moving forward. But this win over Toronto, especially your only win over Toronto, who they've struggled with, is certainly an encouraging sign. So there's a lot here that is really exciting. You know what? The Cavs have been a really streaky team this year. They won 8, they've lost 6. It feels like they trade win streaks for losing streaks and alternate wins and losses between. So I'm hoping now that this is the beginning of the Cavs really making that late season push to secure home court, to maybe challenge for the 3 seed. That's possible at this point. When the Cavs are playing like they just did against Toronto, there's a lot of promise there. So I'm excited to see where it goes. Thank you for tuning in to this Cavs Minute. We're going to have a lot more of these. It's going to be exciting down the stretch. I am Nick Carnes. This is Network 216. We are presented by our great friends at Homage. Go Cavs.